Tuesday on this show, we discussed Collin Morikawa's comments made this past Tuesday, in which he said he doesn't owe the media anything. That in the wake of his decision to not talk to the press after his disappointing loss at Bay Hill on Sunday. This desk suggesting Collin should have taken the time, showing examples of other players after bitter defeat, speaking to the press. Tom Watson, 2009 Open. Phil Mickelson, 2006 U.S. Open. Greg Norman, 1996 Masters. Today, after his 65, Morikawa addressed the criticism.
And then I just want to add one more thing. Might bite my tongue after saying this, but to the Brandel Chamblees, to the Paul McGinleys, to the Rocco Mediats of the world, I don't regret anything I said. It might have been a little bit harsh that I don't owe anyone, but I don't owe anyone. I respect the fans. I'm very thankful for them. I'm grateful. It makes me emotional, but it hurts to hear people say this, and especially you guys, because I finished the round and I went to go sign for 10 minutes, 15 minutes for all the people after. Not a single person from media went to go follow me because I don't know, but that's me. For people to be calling me out is it's interesting. It doesn't show anything. I mean, look, I get what you guys are saying, but I was there. I was signing for every single person right after the round, whether they wanted it or not. I finished second. They could care less. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so thank you, guys.
Brandon, what do you think?
I mean, he was clearly emotional right there. I mean, it's interesting that he called myself and Paul and Rocco out. It wasn't us. When he said no, he didn't say no to us. He was saying no to the fans. He was saying no to the sponsors. Saying no to the PGA Tour. He's saying no to his fellow players who do these interviews. When you're as good as he is, and he's unbelievably good, you're going to have a lot of painful losses in your career. Jack Nicklaus had 19 runner-ups in major championships. I guarantee you, he did an interview after every single one of them. Sport isn't just about winning. It's about learning to compete in an ethical and reciprocal way. That's why we reserve our highest respect, not for those who demonstrate great athletic skill, but also great skill of character. That's why Nancy Lopez was so endearing. 4 times she finished second in the U.S. Open, notably in the '97 U.S. Open. It was very painful for her. It's more important to do those interviews after you lose. And if he starts saying no when it's painful, it sets a precedent. And everybody's tuned in and engaged. Golf's never been better. We're all in. The purses are ungodly high, and there's a sense that there's an entitlement, that they don't owe anybody anything. And he voiced what a lot of people suspected too many tour players felt. It's not true of all of them. A lot of them are great with the media and give us these interviews afterwards. But it sets a dangerous precedent. And if he really does feel that way, and that's fine, it's his opinion. I have mine, he has his. But I think he'll regret it if he carries on turning down the media after he loses, because he's so good, he's going to have many more painful losses. He's going to have many more wins, too. But it's just part of the game.
Yeah, my points were broader points regarding the culture of the modern player and the modern game and how I see changing on tour from the days that I played. And I have a bit more experience because I've moved from not just being a player, but to being, I was on the board for 6 years and understand how that works. And now I'm in the media, understand how that works. And, you've got to understand that the media underpins everything that goes on in a professional game. And there's got to be give and take. And there's so much going towards the players at the moment in terms of prize monies and the leverage they've got from Liv coming on the scene and all of that. And we get all that, and it's a very fortuitous, and, you don't begrudge them all that money that is coming their way, but they've got to give something back. And that's the bigger point that I was trying to stress and try to make. There is a view. There is a view from a lot of the public out there. I do a lot of corporate stuff. I'm always asking people for views on professional golf, and the view is very dominated by a view of entitlement, like you say, to a lot of the players. And, so it's a word of caution to the players more than anything else, that, don't come out and say something like, I don't owe anybody anything, because that does not sound good. Maybe it was a wrong choice of words, but don't say anything like that. It doesn't sound right, and it's not what the public want to hear. here, because ultimately, at the end of the day, the public are the ones paying higher prices to come to events. The public are the ones being denied all the best players coming together more regularly in terms of the top events as the product of golf has become diluted. And, you know, it's you know, the media is a prism for all of that. So that's where I get it. And I'll just finish with the last point. Probably the most memorable interview that I can remember in professional golf was one from loss, not victory. And it was Rory McIlroy in the Ryder Cup in Whistling Straits. When he choked up at the end of, you know, a poor performance from Europe up there. And that's raw emotion and a humanised Rory and a humanised golfers. And that's even though it's a hard thing to do, it's a very, very positive outlook for professional golfers. It's not all about smiley faces and everybody winning. There's got to be give and take for everybody.